The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the hosts and guests may or may not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Miami University.
I am going into my last semester of chemical engineering.
I'm a senior journalism major.
And I'm minoring in supply chain and operations management.
I'm a biochemistry major.
Classes are going great. Extracurriculars are going great.
I'm an RA on campus.
I'm thriving.
Hi, I'm Jason Megacy, and this is Major Insight. This is the podcast where we talk college life with amazing students about how to find your place and purpose on campus. Annie David is always searching for ways to combine analytics with creativity. As a senior studying marketing and business analytics, Annie is also passionate about a career in fashion and photography and strives to make a meaningful difference with every creative project. Annie is also the creative director at Up Magazine, which is Miami University's sophisticated student-run fashion and lifestyle publication. She's been a model for the Fashion and Design Club on campus, and she's the former VP of Marketing for Advancing Women in Entrepreneurship. All right. I feel like I should have gotten a little more dressed up for this one. I mean, we're in the presence of the great and wonderful Annie David. Annie, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks
no, this is going to be a lot of fun. All right, Annie, so kind of just walk us through, your home life, where you from, your high school experience, how did you come up on Miami, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm from Evansville, Indiana. It's in the southwest corner of Indiana, and during my high school senior year, I had no idea where I wanted to end up. I ended up applying to, I think, 15 different colleges, visited a lot of different colleges, and my friend, who's a year older, went to Miami, and so I was like, hey, I've never heard of this school, but I'm really interested because I feel like when I was a senior, I really just wanted to have that fresh start. And most people from my high school went to IU or Purdue, Big Ten schools, but I kind of wanted something smaller and wanted to be able to explore my options and meet new people. So I went to go visit Sarah at Miami, and I just fell in love with it. I feel like everyone says that as soon as you step on campus, you just feel like you're at home. And I really appreciated that it's a liberal arts school because at the time I really didn't know what I wanted to study, and I knew I'd have a lot of flexibility exploring that path.
For sure. So I know you just touched on the uncertainty coming in. Just kind of talk to us a little more about that, your whole freshman year experience.
Yeah, so freshman year I came in undecided. I honestly had such a hard time because I was super creative, and I had my own photography business at school back at home, and I also loved AP calculus. I just had such an analytical and creative mind, and I really didn't know how to narrow that and where to saturate my skill sets, because I think as a freshman in college you feel a lot of pressure to pick one major, know what you're going to do, what's your 5-year plan.
100%.
And it stressed me out, and I really just had no idea because I felt like I could take so many different paths. So it was freshman year, first semester, I was taking a bunch of different classes, chemistry, photography, all these different classes, and really just trying to figure out what exactly it was that I wanted to do. And I really appreciated that flexibility. And my freshman year, second semester, I declared, at the time it was interactive media studies, which is design, business, and technology kind of all combined, which is 3 different segments that I was super interested in. And I took those classes, did some coding, learned Adobe Creative Cloud, and it just got in the groove of that, and I really liked it. So I ended up declaring that my freshman year.
Got you. So kind of backtracking, we'll hop back on the freshman year story, but what about photography and AP Calc? What draws you to those two things? Yeah,
so photography, I loved working with high school seniors, taking their senior photos. It's a huge thing in my hometown. And just being able to work with that peer-to-peer relationship, I feel like there's a lot of photographers, and it's almost intimidating, getting in front of a camera and smiling and being a model for a day. And I really just wanted to provide a comfortable experience for those people. So that kind of drove me to photography, as well as the storytelling aspect. I just really loved being able to capture people and their element. And that's especially why portrait photography was so big for me. And my favorite thing about it is just seeing from start to finish their confidence level just go up. It just brings so much joy to me. And then the AP calculus, I could be given 20 problems and just sit there for 2 hours and just do it. I just feel like it's such a groove thing. I'm just love it. It just feels good to me, and I know what I'm doing and like being able to solve that problem.
It's almost like a flow that you get into.
Yeah,
would you call it like
exactly.
that? Do you feel that in both areas when you're doing it, when you're working?
Yes, especially when it comes to the editing aspect of photography. Like I'll sit in front of Lightroom for 3 hours and just like lose track of time.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So, you just explained the two sides of Annie David right there. And so freshman year, you said you felt like you needed to saturate one side or the other more.
Yeah.
Did you feel pressure to be involved in this thing over this thing that you wanted to do because you wanted to saturate the analytical side or the creative side?
So freshman year, I knew I wanted to get involved right away. Like I was at this brand new school. I literally knew no one in my class as well. And I kind of forced myself out of my comfort zone. I was like, you got to make the most of these next 4 years. And coming out of photography, I knew I wanted to continue that in college, and I knew there wouldn't be as many opportunities just because I didn't really know as many people. So I went to the first info night for Up Magazine.
Yeah, how'd you hear about that?
Yeah, so I was at, pretty sure it was Mega Fair with, the 500 booths.
Shout out to Mega Fair.
Went to all those different booths, and I went to their info night, and I literally felt like I was going to cry. I was like, this is like such a perfect fit. I talked to a bunch of different directors right after. I was like, how do I get involved? Like, I really want to be a part of this. And it just felt like such a big click at the time.
Yeah.
So Up was definitely like that first organization that I really felt like I could hone in on different skill sets and whatnot.
Going past your freshman year, when did you say you declared your major?
So I ended up declaring the major I have now junior year. It definitely took a long time. So I was in IMS, and then I declared marketing junior year, and then second semester of junior year, I declared business analytics as a minor.
Got you. So a lot of steps to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
Why do you think all of those work together for you?
So I appreciate all my majors and minors because I think it really does a good job of like capturing different aspects of what I like. So marketing obviously is kind of that more creative side, and what I was talking about earlier, like the photography and being able to like connect with the person I'm photographing and seeing their confidence level. Like there's a lot of consumer behavior within marketing, and I feel like that also does a good job of just like connecting with people. The content creation with photography, you can do that within marketing as well. But then business analytics, I'm taking like linear regression classes and business programming, and I'm coding, and just being able to kind of combine those two has been really beneficial, and also for what I want to do in the future. Being able to be in more of like a creative industry, but doing more of like that data analytics side of things.
It seems like after that, the creative Annie David and the analytical Annie David have come together to make the Annie David.
Joined hand in hand.
So I know you mentioned before the interview about a pie-shaped marketer.
Yeah.
Can you describe that for me?
Yeah.
And would you describe yourself as a pie-shaped marketer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this concept, I guess, really resonated with me first semester junior year before I had that business analytics minor. And so basically you think of the shape of a pie, which is like the math. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
So not like an actual you eat pie.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm there.
The symbol, right?
Got you.
And so one of the legs is like the creative aspect that people think of when they think of marketing, the content creation, the branding. And then you have the data side, the analytics side, being able to digest the data, turn it into meaningful insights, and then you have the top that connects the two together. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I am pie. Like I really it really resonated with me because I always thought before coming into college that marketing was more of like, social media marketing or like content creation or advertisements and whatnot, but it's so much more, especially as our world today has become so digital and data is like literally overflowing. It's just, we need so many people to like be able to connect that and being able to turn that into more like personalization aspects for companies, being able to connect to their consumers and whatnot.
Yeah. I know that there's a lot of people that they have all of these ideas and these feelings when they come into school, but they feel like they have to narrow their way into one specific area and they have to cut off completely the other side. Did you ever feel that moment that you were gonna have to make a choice?
Yeah, I definitely felt that, especially freshman year when I was kind of more unaware of like, I can really like combine a lot of different things that I like. You just feel so much pressure just being able to pick one thing over the other, and you're like, wait, but I love photography. I don't really want to lose that. So yeah, you definitely feel the pressure, but I feel like having what you're studying in combination of what you're involved in outside of school that doesn't really feel like school, but you're still like doing work that you love is such a great way to really like be able to have all of those skills and to grow within that.
When was that moment for you that you realized this is my experience and I don't have to cut off all of those things? I
definitely think it was when I started to get more involved with UP especially, and I also joined Advancing Women in Entrepreneurship. Cool. And it's a really cool organization. Like there's so many girls within Advancing Women in Entrepreneurship that are involved in so many different things. It's been really great to be a part of that as well. And it definitely opened my eyes even more to, hey, like you don't have to live like within a certain mold, and there's never going to be a dead end in your life. Like you can always like turn around, you can make those decisions. Like you're never going to be restricted in what you want to do, especially in college. Like it's such a great, 100%. It's such a great time to, it's such a great time to just really explore those opportunities. And we're here to learn as well. Like you're here to learn what you want to do. Yeah. And if you don't know right now, like that's okay. Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to get into the gritty, the nitty gritty that I'm trying to hear. UP Magazine.
Yeah.
Tell me about all of the roles that you have held within UP Magazine.
Yeah. Okay. So UP Magazine is Miami University's fashion and lifestyle publication. So we kind of have these like big projects throughout the year of producing like a whole magazine and releasing it and distributing it to our students. And then freshman year, I was a videographer and a print photographer. And then sophomore year, I became director of videography. So I was kind of in charge of the YouTube channel and then also making content for our Instagram as well. And then junior year, I was director of photography. So in charge of, I think we had about 15 photographers for the magazine at that time. And now senior year, I'm creative director. So I'm kind of in charge of everything visual within the magazine. Mm-hmm. So the layout design, the fashion, the makeup, the hair, the photography, the videography, the social media.
Yeah. You hear this word creative, or these words like the title creative director.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is such a cool thing and such a cool title to have. But like, what actually is it? So what does it actually mean to you to be the creative director?
Yeah. To me, creative director means being able to collaborate with a bunch of different students that also have the same mindset of creating art that they're proud of and they want to showcase and they want to publish, and doing that all underneath the UP brand. So just really being able to collaborate with those people and kind of guide them as they work creatively on their different projects.
Yeah. What aspects of yourself have you seen the most growth in as you've grown with the organization?
Yeah. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier, I feel like it's almost parallel to my college experience. Like I kind of dipped my toes in a lot of different things within UP, and it really showed me the importance of like collaboration. So going on these different photo shoots and being able to work with a writer, the models, the makeup, the hair, a stylist, the videographer, the photographer, like you have so many different roles that people love to do and you all come together and kind of have this shared experience with one another. It really showed me that I don't really have to remain in one spot. Like there's always going to be a chance where you can meet new people, like learn new things from different people. I love talking to people about what they love and what they're passionate about and just hearing their thoughts and opinions and growing in that way. I think has been really beneficial for UP, as well as just having that creative outlet on campus was super important to me. And I think being able to grow creatively and being in my dream role now for UP, it's been great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So talk to me a little more about Advancing Women in Entrepreneurship. You talked about when you joined, but could you just give a little more detail about what it actually is, what you guys are doing, what your goals are?
Yeah, definitely. So Advancing Women in Entrepreneurship is also known as AWE. And we have 4 different pillars that I think really does a good job of describing what we do. And it's radiant, pioneering, smart, and brave. And my personal favorite is pioneering. Again, like it all comes back to like my freshman year self and what I felt like just being able to create your own path and really just like start something new, being able to take chances and have that like brave and radiant spirit. So it's a bunch of different girls, different majors, different colleges, and we all come together and really just share that common goal of like finding our North Star. Being able to support one another in that and have these different workshops for different professional and personal development. And my favorite aspect of all was going on the Design Your Life trip. So it's a study away program, and I went with 15 other Miami students, and we visited Cincinnati for a week and San Francisco for a week, and we met with different female entrepreneurs and leaders in different industries and really just talked to them about their experience, both personally and professionally, and just being able to hear the wise words of all these very successful women and hearing their stories and them being vulnerable. And just really, awe is a really great space for you to grow and kind of realize that you don't have to follow a certain path. You can definitely create your own.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about your internship over the summer. I know it seemed like it kind of was the culmination of all this turmoil going on freshman year, and it just melted everything that you wanted to do together. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Very accurate, yeah. So I worked at URBN, which consists of many different brands, but most notably Urban Outfitters, Free People, and Anthropologie. And so I worked with a brand called Nuuly, which is a clothing subscription service. So you go online, you rent 6 different items of clothing of your choice. They ship it to you. You get to wear it for a month. You ship it back. And it was just like really cool to be able to explore that space, because I think more and more people are having closets that are more secondhand and environmentally friendly and sustainable. And so it was really cool to explore that space. And I was a customer insights intern, so I was in the marketing and customer success department, but doing more of their data analytics and developing insights and creating dashboards. But yeah, I loved it.
Got you. So kind of tying it back to school, what, if any, professors or teachers or mentors have you had on campus that have been influential to your whole experience?
Yeah, I definitely have to say my junior year, first semester, I had a professor, Paul Hunter. He teaches marketing 419, which is digital branding, and kind of like what we talked about earlier, the pie-shaped marketer. He was the one that brought about this concept, and I was like, wow, I'm really going to love this class. And so we had a semester-long project where we were to explore just the whole like digital branding and marketing of any brand of our choosing, and I actually chose Nuuly. And so I ended up conducting all that research, ended up being like a 50 PowerPoint slide, and really got to know the brand before I started working there.
So it was an easy hire, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been super influential, and just being able to have like more real world experience within a classroom, I think he definitely emphasizes that. And yeah, just really opened my eyes to all the possibilities within digital marketing.
What's next for Annie David in the next few months, in the next few years, whatever you want to say?
Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't have been comfortable saying this a few years ago, but I don't know. And I think there's a lot of beauty in that. Not really sure where I want to land, but I definitely feel a lot more grounded in what I'm confident with, what I want to pursue. Definitely interested in digital marketing, fashion retail, all these different things that I feel like I will be able to combine within the next few years.
If you had a time machine, you could go back and talk to Annie David, freshman year, 18 years old.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice that you'd give her?
I would tell her to stop worrying and to stop comparing herself to others. I think a lot of the times I felt so much pressure, and I was like, oh my gosh, all my friends know what they're doing. They have their career plan like set out, and they're going to go straight to that. And I found myself really comparing myself to other students and kind of wanting to be like them, like, oh, I wish I kind of had it all together. But at the end of the day, I think none of us really have it together. We all personally, like, truly don't know what we're doing. But I think there's so much, like, beauty in that, because we can all empathize with one another. And really just, like, I would tell her that you need to take the next 4 years to just learn and grow and lean on other people, because we're all in this together.
You're gonna make me cry. That was beautiful. All right, Annie, thank you so much for being on. We enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great.
Annie David is a senior studying marketing, business analytics, and emerging technology in business and design. And she's considering a career in digital marketing, fashion retail, and branding after graduation. And thank you for listening to Major Insight. If you enjoyed this podcast, share with your friends or anyone interested in navigating college life. Many more episodes are now available wherever you get your podcasts.